because Islam is really practice. And when I saw the word fultoli, that reminded me with the school of fultoli. I don't know how much you know about it, but I do. I know the scholars, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put mercy. You named this masjid after him.
Yes.
I remember the big gathering was in London. We invited myself from Ahlul Bayt and also Habib Asim. We have a nice, wonderful, mashallah. Don't underestimate the number. That's why I'm bringing the story. In UK, the fultoli school started small like you. And when we arrived there last year, when we were invited, I don't think it could have this building 6-7 times the size of the school. MashaAllah, they all graduated and they grow. So inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put this blessing and sunnah. You see the sunnah of ilm. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did not leave behind him any, what they call a dinar, means money or gold. He left ilm, allama. And that's what all Islam is about. It's to inherit the knowledge and pass the knowledge on. So when someone told you what's really, I received the topic, the true, or what is the true guidance to Islam? So before you came, did you really ask that question? What would be the answer? Especially when you are talib ilm, when you are the students of ilm, when you know the topic, you probably want to search, especially now with the knowledge that we have, Sheikh Google and others, so you'll be able to search so fast, and you don't have to have so much except go after that Sheikh Google and get some information. But don't challenge me with the Sheikh Google, because not everything in Sheikh Google, Imam Google is really right. So, but it's a good guide, it's good reference. When you have the guide, and you say, what is the truth guide? Who's the truth guide as a Muslim? Allah Azza wa Jal. See, even in the United States, when you go as you in school, they say they want to have what? Guidance for you in school, to guide you. What that means is to give you guide. In Islam, it's called hidayah. To guide you, to make sure that guide you the right path. Yes, it's not going to take you off the path. Otherwise, there will no need for guide. So our guide in Islam, the true guide, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have the Quran, and we have the Sunnah of our beloved Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we have complete guidance and references. That's why I recited the surah the verses from the surah of Al-Baqarah, from the beginning of the Quran. Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. It has no doubt. This book, the book of Quran, has no doubt. We have no doubt in it because it's the word of Allah. هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. He says it's guided to who? للمتقين. He didn't say هُدًى لِلنَّاسِ. There is هُدًى لِلنَّاسِ وَبَيِّنَاتٍ مِنَ الْهُدَى وَالْفُرْقَانِ. There's another ayah. But here he say to the muttaqeen. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to elevate yourself by His guide, not to be Muslims, and not to be mu'min, not to be anything beyond, be less than muttaqi. So you have from His guide a shelter that no one can penetrate. And if you have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on your side as a guide, no one, no shaitan, no nafs can enter. But until then, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, where is the continuation of the ayah? Alif Lam Mim ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Who? الَّذِينَ يُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ. See, the salah is one of the guides. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already told us in the Holy Quran I guide you, I give you the Quran, I give you prophets, but you have to practice. الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. الإيمان بالغيب, see, Iman, you cannot be guided without submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fully. That's why he says you have to make, if you are a muttaqi, you have to be in that time. So let's start with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our guide. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Holy Quran, everything that you need is in this Quran. You want to make money in this Quran. You want to get married in the Quran. You want to know history is in the Quran. You want to know miracle is in the Quran. Everything you want is in the Quran. Socially, economically, and also believing, aqidah, history, all everything, subhanAllah, in the Quran. Even your end of your life in the judgment day is specific. In physics, wallahi, in the Quran. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us, every time we open that Quran, He give us enough guide to be able to digest. One of the miracle of the guide of the Quran, when you recite the Fatiha, any of you get tired to repeat it? How many times you repeat it in your life? How many others repeat it? Have you seen anyone complain of just the Fatiha? How many times you repeat it over and over? Every time you repeat it, it has a different taste to it, subhanAllah. That's the guide. Is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So He says the Quran is my first guide. It says, learn my word. We're still gonna, even when we recite the Fatiha, we don't really give enough comprehension of the Fatiha. Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. You always ask Him to guide you to the sirat al-mustaqim. Are you in it? You continue to say Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim until you die. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not only will He put you on a sirat al-mustaqim, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the Sahaba al-Kiram, all of them, they were asking the same thing. And they were guided already by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is already guaranteed Jannah. The Sahaba, they were guaranteed Jannah. And they will continue to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Does that mean Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not give them the straight path? He did. But you always need to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep you in that straight sirat al-mustaqim, the guide, which is Islam. To do halal and prevent haram. So one of the guides in Islam is the Quran, which is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To understand it, to know who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the word of the Tawheed, فَعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Who's those prophets? 25 prophets in the Quran. Again, when I told you the judgment day is there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell you about Yawm al-Qiyamah. He will tell you also how to compare it with our today technology. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and that day He will send Shihab, meaning the earth, subhanAllah, the cover, it's not round, right? It's what? It's egg shape. So the nazik, or what we call it, a star now, we've seen it. If it goes in a high speed, right? What happens if past the earth? From the magnetic point of view, what happens? The satellite disappear. Yes? You're not going to have any of it. The Quran says, I will send Shihab. And a few months ago, we had lost some, and they make sure that all the satellites is away from the earth this way. They maintain satellites for you. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Yawm al-Qiyamah, I will do that. I will hit that with the earth, the orbit. And I made it round. In 24 hours, come back again. In physics, you take a shape of a potato, you hit it from one side, what happened? The object falls, and then it rotates. The east from the west. Where's the sun? The sun doesn't move. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that. It's not going to move. But when that goes in, the moon will be gone, and the sun comes, and then another phenomena will take place. We don't want to go through that details of the physics and matching with the Quran. You know the surah, إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا. Huh? What does that mean? إِذَا زُلْزِلَت in Arabic, when it shakes. That's Yawm al-Qiyamah, one of the phenomena, the sign of Yawm al-Qiyamah. How are you going to resurrect again? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He make all those mountains as sand, like a cotton, then what happened then? We have water. Physics will tell you, go to the lab. If you want to have the stone turn to dust, you could do it. You have to heat it enough. And if you want to have this water on the planet turn to no water, what do? You turn it in, separate H2O. It becomes like a hydrogen bomb. And then there will be no more water. It does happen. When the sun rises down more, it comes more, and the water comes to a certain level of heat, and even the mountains will disappear, and also the water will convert into no more water, sand. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, then all of it will be sand. إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْض. This is now the phenomenon of resurrect. Just picking a couple things to give you the appreciation of the Quran. That's your guide. إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا. الثقل in Arabic is the heaviest stuff. So if you take an object in the lab and you put it in the sand and you shake it, which one goes down and which one comes up? That appear. The heavy, right? So the sand goes down, and then we have, so us, Allah will shake the earth. إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا. And you now, وَقَالَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا لَهَا. What am I? What happened to me? Why am I here? إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا وَقَالَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا لَهَا يَوْمَئِذٍ تُحَدِّثُ أَخْبَارَهَا. Well, earth means the what? The earth. بِأَنَّ رَبَّكَ أَوْحَى لَهَا يَوْمَئِذٍ يَصْدُرُ النَّاسُ أَشْتَاتًا لِيَرَوْا أَعْمَالَهُم. All these people, they come together. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you the picture, the best movie ever you could if you want to watch. It's not Hollywood movie. It's a Quran movie. It's a reality. You go to dissect it and you look at it. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam comes and gives us an explanation. You know the Ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam at that judgment day, Ummatan wasatan. Why we are Ummatan wasatan? You know what wasata means? We are in the middle. لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ وَيَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ عَلَيْكُمْ شَهِيدًا. So you are what? Ummatan wasata. So we are in the judgment day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to put the Ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in the middle. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will witness on us what we've done. With the Quran, with the knowledge, with our deed, with everything that is there in the Quran and explained in the Sunnah. And then we will be witness on other nations. And because you are the Ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam Ummah will be first. لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ. So you're going to be witness to other nations. Because all lined up, the Malaika, Safa. This is all details. I'm not going to go through it. That's your homework. Because you are in a student of knowledge, so you need to go a different lecture to know more of these details. And the Malaika, if one of you, one of us, one of them, whoever tries to come near that line and step out of the line, وَالنَّاشِطَاتِ نَشْطًا وَالنَّازِعَاتِ نَزْعًا. Those Malaika, they come and naza' in Arabic, they pull you out. You have no way to be in that line. Unless if you are mu'min and guided with your nur. If you have the nur, that will be light. There's no more sun. Darkness. Except the mu'min. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided hudan. Huda is not only for this life after. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you the hidayah. That nur. Nurun ala nur. That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what is he? One of his names was Al-Hadi. Hidayah, you muhtadi, me muhtadi. Means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us by his hidayah. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam muhtadi, Al-Hadi. He's already hadi, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put him to guide us. Bashiran wa nadhira. So you have to, one of the guidance is what? Is to follow Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then at the end, you have to be the guide one too. If you have a family, you guide to your own. That's why we call him, you need a guide. And you need this guide. By the way, you know, one of the guides guide you is what? GPS, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know the first one who did GPS? Before anybody? That's another homework. You go and look at it. Is a Muslim female, close to over 1,000 years ago. She's from Aleppo, from Syria. She had she was a physicist and a mathematician and also astronomist. She would tell your location by just having what we call it a desk today. She would do the calculation, she would use the stars, she would do this, she would tell you where you're going to be and how long you're going to be there. That was the first GPS, by the way. A woman. Do you know how many Muslim women they've been scientists and others? You probably don't know. In the early stages of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, over 8,000 women. You don't know that because you don't study. Because you think just your guide is your iPhone and your Westerns. You don't know that without the algebra you will never have anything called computer. Do you know that? Without Ibn Sina you will never have one of our scholars. You will never have what we call a mastra. Yeah. We in Arabic we call it when we call it now nursing home, when we call it hospital. You know the first someone who implement that is Muslims. To watch that who implement this? Muslims. The first watch ever is a Muslim. So we have a lot of homework to do. So we have our guide from Allah, and that's why we will never fail. Our old generation, our grand ancestors, they understood. Allah guided them with their iman. Allah gives something in the Quran. What He said, وَعَلَّمْنَاهُ مِن لَدُنَّ عِلْمًا. Do you know what the ilm? Say Allah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you that iman. Iman al-ilm from ladunna ilma means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you knowledge you don't even know. They say this person is so smart. I don't know why he's so smart. Sometimes the person doesn't even know how to read or write, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them knowledge. That's ilm ladunna. So we have all that. So now, why I brought this up? Because you should, when someone asks you, who's your guide? What's going to be the answer? Allah. Azza wa Jalla. And you know one of the miracles of Allah, name even? One person told me, can we change the way how we spell it in Arabic? As people spell the word of Allah, A-L-A-H. Have you seen it in some books? The Westerns, they translated some of them like that. I've seen it. They teach some of the books in the jail, the federal jail. In some books it's been translated overseas, and they have it A-L-A-H, Allah. Allah. How you supposed to really have it translated? Right. Why? There is a reason you cannot do others. You see other name, for example, someone his name Giyas. It's actually in Arabic Giyas with a Ra. My name is Abdullah. It's actually Abdullah. But there is no Ayn. But when it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala name, you cannot change any letter. Because when you write it in Arabic, or in English, every letter you take, the name stays the same meaning. You take the alif, becomes lillah. Lillahi ma fi samawati wa ma fi al-ard. Still Allah. You're not getting it yet.